At 52, David thought his chronic back pain was just part of aging, until a stranger in a coffee shop whispered 3 words that flipped his life upside down. What were they? Your mind lies. And that's when everything changed. David winced as another sharp pain shot up his spine. The doctors had given up. Degenerative disc disease, they said, handing him painkillers like candy. But the pills just fogged his mind while his body kept screaming. One rainy Tuesday, slumped at his usual cafe table, an old man with startling blue eyes slid into the seat across from him. You're fighting the wrong battle, the stranger said, tapping David's forehead. The pain starts here. David laughed bitterly. Yeah? And what's the fix? A magic spell? The man leaned in. Close. It's the one thing you've been avoiding. He left a crumpled napkin on the table, scrawled in shaky handwriting. The body believes what the mind repeats. David stared at the napkin, his fingers trembling slightly. The words echoed in his head. The body believes what the mind repeats. What did that even mean? He crumpled it into his pocket, dismissing it as another useless piece of advice. But that night, lying in bed with the familiar ache throbbing in his back, he couldn't shake the old man's intense gaze. Sleep wouldn't come. Frustrated, he grabbed his phone and typed the phrase into Google. Pages of articles on psychosomatic pain, meditation studies, and mind-body healing flooded the screen. One headline caught his eye. Chronic pain patients heal after rewiring their thoughts. Doctors baffled. He clicked it, skimming through stories of people who'd cured their pain without surgery or pills. Bullshit, he muttered, but something inside him stirred. The next morning, he found himself back at the cafe, half hoping the old man would reappear. Instead, he spotted a flyer taped to the window. Free workshop. Break the pain cycle mind over body. The address was a rundown community center across town. David scoffed. Probably some scam. But as he sipped his coffee, the pain flared again, sharp and unrelenting. What if? The thought crept in before he could stop it. With a grunt, he grabbed his coat and headed out. The center was dimly lit, smelling of incense and old books. A small group sat in a circle, eyes closed, as a woman with silver hair guided them through deep breathing. David lingered at the back, arms crossed. This is ridiculous. Then the woman locked eyes with him. You're right on time. The group turned, smiling as if they'd been expecting him. Before he could bolt, she added, the first step is admitting your mind created this pain. The second, learning to uncreate it. A man in the circle, a burly construction worker, nodded. I thought this was crap too. 2 months ago I couldn't lift a hammer. Now look. He flexed his arms effortlessly. David's pulse spiked. Was this a setup? But the raw hope in the man's voice felt real. The silver-haired woman handed David a journal. Write down every negative thought about your body. Then burn it. He almost laughed. That's it? No magic potion. She smiled. The magic's already in you. You've just been using it against yourself. Reluctantly, he scribbled. My back is broken. I'll never heal. I'm too old. As he watched the pages curl into ash in a small bowl, something unexpected happened. A flicker of lightness like a weight lifting. Coincidence, he told himself. But when the woman whispered, now close your eyes and tell your body, I release you, his breath hitched. For the first time in years, the pain shifted. Not gone, but quieter, as if retreating. His eyes flew open. What the hell was that? The group erupted in quiet applause. The woman winked. Lesson 1. Your mind is a bully. Time to fight back. David's hands shook. Not from pain, but from something scarier, hope. David left the workshop in a daze. His back still aching, but his mind racing. I release you. Those 3 words kept echoing in his head, mixing with the old man's cryptic message. Was this all just placebo? Some weird group hypnosis? He barely noticed the walk home, his thoughts louder than the city noise around him. That night, he dreamed of his father, something he hadn't done in years. In the dream, his dad was young again, lifting heavy boxes at the warehouse where he'd worked, his face twisted in pain. You'll understand one day, his father said, dropping a box that shattered like glass. David woke up sweating, his back screaming. But this time, instead of reaching for the pills, he grabbed the journal from the workshop. Fine, he muttered, scribbling furiously. My father's pain became mine. I've been carrying it for him. The moment the words hit the page, a sharp crack echoed in his spine. Not pain but a release, like a joint finally popping into place. He froze. This can't be real. The next morning he returned to the community center, but the door was locked. A note taped to it read, "Healing isn't a place. It's a practice." E. David's stomach dropped. Who was this E? The silver-haired woman? The old man? A prankster? His phone buzzed. An unknown number. Check your mailbox. Heart pounding, he rushed home. Inside his mailbox was a single cassette tape labeled, "Listen Alone." Hands shaking, he dug out an old player from his closet. The voice on the tape wasn't the woman's or the old man's. It was his own, but from decades ago, young and trembling. "I'm scared I'll end up like Dad," his past self whispered. Every time he groaned, "I swore I'd never let my body betray me like that." David's breath stopped. He'd never recorded this. How was this possible? The tape kept playing. "The pain isn't yours to carry. Put it down." Then silence. David played it 5 times, tears streaming. That's when he noticed the faint clicking in his back wasn't pain anymore. It was alignment, like bones settling where they belonged. He lunged for the journal, writing, "I'm not my father. My story is mine." The moment he finished, his phone buzzed again. Another text. "Now you're ready for the real work." David stared at the text message, fingers hovering over the screen. Now you're ready for the real work. His skin prickled with equal parts dread and anticipation. The rational part of his brain screamed this was insane. Tapes appearing out of nowhere, texts from unknown numbers, pain that vanished with words. But the other part, the part that had felt that momentary relief in his spine, whispered, "What if it's real?" He typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly, "Look under your pillow." His breath hitched. Slowly, he reached under the pillow he'd slept on for 15 years, and his fingers brushed against something cold and smooth. A small ornate key, ancient-looking with strange symbols carved into the bow. This wasn't here last night. The key felt heavy in his palm, as if charged with some unseen energy. Another text buzzed. "Your father knew about the key. Ask your mother." David's blood ran cold. His mother had passed away 5 years ago. There was no one left to ask. He rushed to the closet where he kept old family boxes, dust flying as he yanked them open. Buried beneath yellowed photos and tax documents was a small wooden chest he'd never seen before. The key fit perfectly. Inside lay 3 items. A faded Polaroid of his father as a young man, standing with a group in front of the same rundown community center. A handwritten note. "The pain is a bridge, not a burden. Cross it." A business card for a Dr. Elias Voss, mind-body specialist. The same silver-haired woman from the workshop. David's hands trembled. His father knew about this. All those years of mocking alternative medicine, of popping pills and dismissing meditation. Had his dad been lying? Or worse, had he tried to tell him? The dates on the photo placed it just months before his father's back pain started. Then another text. "The chest is step 1. Step 2 requires courage. Meet me at the place where your father gave up." David knew exactly where that was. The old warehouse where his dad had worked. Now abandoned. The place he'd sworn never to visit. The abandoned warehouse loomed before David like a forgotten nightmare. Its broken windows staring down like hollow eyes. Every instinct told him to run. This was where his father's body had broken, where the groans of overworked men still echoed in his childhood memories. But the key burned in his pocket, and that damn text had said, "Courage." The rusty door creaked open with a push, revealing darkness thick with dust and the ghostly scent of machine oil. His phone flashlight cut through the gloom, illuminating faded safety posters and a workbench, with a single clean white envelope placed perfectly at its center. Impossible. No one had been here in years, yet the envelope looked fresh. His name was written on it in his father's handwriting. Inside, a letter. "David, if you're reading this, you finally asked the right questions. I tried to protect you from the truth. Some pains aren't meant to be carried but transformed. The warehouse wasn't just my workplace. It was where our family's curse began. Your grandfather worked here too. And his father before him. All of us with the same pain, the same broken backs. Because we weren't just moving boxes. We were containing something. Ask Dr. Voss about the locked room. David's knees buckled. Curse? Containing something? His flashlight flickered, then died. In the sudden darkness, a new sound emerged. Not the groan of old wood, but something breathing from the far corner of the warehouse. Heavy, wet, not human. His pulse exploded as a slithering noise crept closer, followed by a child's whisper. You were supposed to take my place. Then light. Blinding. The warehouse doors flew open, silhouetting Dr. Voss in the doorway, her silver hair glowing. David, don't listen to it. The pain feeds on belief. Behind her, the community center members formed a chain, chanting low words that made the air vibrate. The thing in the darkness shrieked, a sound that cracked David's ribs from within, then dissolved like smoke. Dr. Voss grabbed his shaking hands. Your father almost beat it. You will. But first, you need to see what's really been hurting you. She pressed a rusted key into his palm, identical to the first but warm, alive. This opens the locked room. But be warned, you won't like what you find. David stood before the locked room, the new key trembling in his hand. Dr. Voss's warning echoed in his mind. You won't like what you find. But after a lifetime of pain, he needed answers. The key turned with a heavy click, and the door creaked open to reveal a mirror. Not just any mirror. A massive antique floor mirror, its glass swirling with dark fog. And in its reflection, David didn't see himself. He saw his father, young and healthy, lifting a box marked with the same symbols as the key. Behind him, shadowy hands gripped his shoulders, sinking into his flesh like claws. Dr. Voss stepped forward, her voice urgent. The pain was never yours, David. It was passed down. A generational bargain. Your ancestors traded their suffering for temporary strength. But the body remembers what the mind tries to forget. The reflection shifted, showing David's grandfather, then his great-grandfather, all hunched in agony as the shadowy hands tightened. You were next in line, she whispered. A roar erupted from the mirror, the same inhuman sound from the warehouse. The glass cracked as the shadow creature lunged toward David. Instinctively, he raised the key, shouting the words he'd learned. I release you. Light exploded from the key, vaporizing the shadows in the mirror. One by one, his ancestors' postures straightened, their faces peaceful. The mirror shattered and David felt it. A snap in his spine, warmth flooding his back for the first time in decades. Dr. Voss smiled. The cycle's broken. Now heal forward. Twist. The pain was a parasitic entity, sustained by generations of suppressed trauma. David's acceptance destroyed it. Moral lesson. Pain that isn't faced doesn't disappear, it gets inherited. True healing begins when you stop carrying what was never yours to hold.